Dutch Schultz. Gangster Dutch Schultz built up a criminal network that included bootlegging, illegal gambling, and murder. His biggest enemies were Legs Diamond and the IRS. Dutch Schultz had a pretty successful life in his time, but in a cruel way. He ended up making millions, if not billions, of dollars, which was in the lawless decade, or in other words, the Roaring Twenties. This was a time that gangs were pretty much ruling the cities while alcohol was banned. Dutch was making a lot of money from illegal saloons, which is probably more money than the government. Infamous gangster, bootlegger, and murderer Dutch Schultz was born as Arthur Flegenheimer on August 6, 1902, in the Bronx section of New York City. During his relatively brief life, Dutch Schultz became a powerful figure in the New York crime world, earning the nicknames Beer Baron of the Bronx and the Dutchman. The son of Jewish immigrants from Germany, he grew up in the slums of the Bronx. His father abandoned the family when Schultz was in his early teens, and soon after Schultz left school and started working odd jobs. But Schultz soon discovered that crime was more lucrative than a day job. At the age of 17, he was arrested for burglary and served 17 months in prison for the crime, the only person sentence he would ever serve. After his release, Schultz returned to the streets and his gangs of thugs. His associates gave him the nickname Dutch Schultz, after a local gangster who was known for his violent, brutal ways. The Roaring Twenties, or in other words, the lawless decade, was known as the dramatic increase of crime rates. The crime rate was the result of prohibition, alcohol was banned, organized crimes, and the Ku Klux Klan. In the 1920s, Schultz became involved in bootlegging during the Prohibition and became associated with the likes of gangsters Lucky Luciano and Legs Diamond. Schultz eventually bought a partnership in an illegal saloon, ruthless and determined. Schultz formed a gang with a friend and fellow criminal, Joey No, and they built an illegal business selling beer in New York, intimidating rival saloons into buying from them. Schultz even went as far as kidnapping and torturing a man who refused to buy their booze. The group soon expanded its operations from the Bronx into Manhattan, but this led to a territorial conflict with Legs Diamond. In October 28, No was shot and killed by members of Diamond's gang. Fun facts: he was a criminal. He was a brewer for alcohol to illegal saloons. He was a murderer, kidnapper, and part of the mafia.